depression has increasingly been studied not just as a psychological or chemical issue, but as a problem of brain regulation. When researchers examine brain activity in people with depression, they consistently find patterns of underactivation, overactivation, and poor coordination across networks involved in mood, motivation, emotional recovery, and self-regulation. Neurofeedback was developed to address this level of the problem directly. It is a form of brain training that uses real-time information about brain activity to help the brain learn more stable and flexible patterns of functioning. The important question is not whether this approach sounds appealing, but whether it holds up under careful scientific testing. The research summarized here shows that it does. Let's turn to the question of what Level 5 evidence means and why it matters. In clinical science, treatments are evaluated on a hierarchy of evidence. Early levels include case reports, small uncontrolled studies, or findings that depend heavily on subjective impressions. At the top of this hierarchy is Level 5 evidence, often described as efficacious and specific. Level 5 evidence means several things. The treatment has been tested in multiple randomized controlled trials, not just one favorable study. The protocols are clearly defined and replicable. The outcomes exceed placebo or comparison conditions, demonstrating that the effect is specific to the intervention itself, and the results are measured using established clinical tools rather than anecdote or enthusiasm. As we can see, neurofeedback for depression meets these criteria. This matters because many approaches to depression feel helpful in the short term, but have not demonstrated durable, specific effects when studied carefully. Placebo responses, expectancy effects, and nonspecific support can all produce temporary improvement. When those factors fade, symptoms often return. Level 5 evidence tells us that an intervention works for reasons that go beyond belief or short-term support. In practical terms, it tells us the treatment is changing something real in how the brain functions. Why durability of change is a key finding. One of the most important findings in the neurofeedback literature on depression is durability. Several studies followed participants after training ended and found that improvements persisted without ongoing treatment. This is uncommon in mental health research and is particularly relevant for people who have experienced cycles of partial relief followed by relapse. From a research perspective, durability suggests learning. The brain is not simply being supported while an intervention is present, it is acquiring a new regulatory pattern. This distinction matters when evaluating long-term outcomes. Understand, neurofeedback's goal is not to suppress symptoms, but to improve how the brain regulates itself.